Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on 8 signs that money controls you. Money is an important part of our lives, but it's easy to fall into the trap of letting it control us instead of the other way around. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into some of the common signs that suggest money may be controlling your life. We'll also explore why it's important to recognize these signs and what you can do to break free from the grip of money. You might be thinking, but I need money to survive and achieve my goals, so what's wrong with letting it control me a little? While it's true that money is necessary, there is a difference between managing your finances responsibly and allowing them to dictate your thoughts, actions, and emotions. In fact, when money controls you, it can have a negative impact on your mental and emotional well-being, as well as your relationships and overall quality of life. That's why it's essential to be aware of the signs that money may be controlling you and take steps to regain control. So, if you're ready to explore this topic with us, let's dive in and discover the signs that suggest money may be controlling your life. 1. You're always thinking about money. The first sign that suggests money may be controlling you is if you find yourself always thinking about it. It's natural to think about money from time to time, especially when you're planning your budget or considering a major purchase. However, if thoughts about money consume your mind constantly, then it may be a sign that it's controlling you. For example, you might find yourself constantly worrying about bills, debts, and expenses, even if you have enough money to cover them. You might also obsess over ways to make more money or strategies to save every penny. Even when you're doing something enjoyable or spending time with loved ones, your mind might drift towards money-related thoughts. This constant preoccupation with money can be exhausting and can even impact your mental health. It can make you feel stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed, which can lead to a lack of focus, irritability, and difficulty sleeping. Moreover, it can also negatively impact your relationships, as you may be too preoccupied with money-related thoughts to fully engage with those around you. So, if you find yourself always thinking about money, it's important to take a step back and evaluate your relationship with money. Consider why you're so preoccupied with it and what steps you can take to reduce this preoccupation. It may involve creating a budget, seeking professional help, or finding ways to cultivate other interests that take your mind off money. By doing so, you can start to regain control and find a healthier balance between your finances and your overall well-being. 2. High prices offend you. If you're someone who feels angry or frustrated when you see a high price tag, even if it's for a luxury item you don't necessarily need, it may be a sign that you're overly fixated on money. This kind of reaction can stem from a fear of spending too much money or a belief that spending money on non-essential items is wasteful. It can also stem from a sense of inadequacy or a desire to keep up with others who may be spending more than you. However, when high prices offend you, it can also prevent you from enjoying life's pleasures and experiences. For example, you may refuse to dine at a fancy restaurant because you feel the cost is unjustifiable, even if you have the means to afford it. This can limit your opportunities for personal growth and enjoyment. If you find yourself reacting negatively to high prices, it's important to examine why this is the case. Ask yourself whether your reaction is based on a legitimate concern about overspending or whether it's a reflection of an unhealthy relationship with money. You may want to challenge your beliefs about spending and consider trying new experiences, even if they come at a higher price point. By doing so, you can start to loosen the grip of money on your mindset and enjoy the benefits of new experiences. 3. You overspend and have trouble saving. The third sign that suggests money may be controlling you is if you find yourself overspending and having trouble saving. This can manifest in different ways, such as constantly buying things you don't need, splurging on expensive items, or living beyond your means. Overspending can lead to a vicious cycle of debt and financial stress, which can make it difficult to achieve your financial goals. Moreover, it can also impact your mental and emotional well-being, as you may feel guilty, ashamed, or embarrassed about your spending habits. On the other hand, having trouble saving can also be a sign that money is controlling you. If you struggle to save money, even when you have the intention to do so, it may be a sign that you lack control over your spending habits. To overcome this, it's essential to create a budget and stick to it. This involves tracking your expenses and income, and allocating a certain amount towards savings and essential expenses. It's also important to find ways to reduce your expenses, such as cutting back on unnecessary purchases or finding cheaper alternatives. Additionally, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of your financial goals and priorities. By having a clear sense of what you're saving for and why it's important to you, you can find the motivation to stick to your budget and resist the temptation to overspend. If you find it challenging to overcome overspending and saving challenges on your own, consider seeking professional help or joining a support group. By doing so, you can gain valuable insights and support from others who have faced similar challenges and find the tools and strategies to overcome them. 4. You feel stressed or anxious about money. The fourth sign that suggests money may be controlling you is if you frequently feel stressed or anxious about money. Financial stress and anxiety can be incredibly challenging to deal with and can impact many areas of your life, from your physical health to your relationships. When you feel stressed or anxious about money, you may experience physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle tension, or difficulty sleeping. Additionally, you may also feel irritable, short-tempered, or have difficulty concentrating on tasks. Moreover, financial stress and anxiety can also impact your relationships, as it can make it challenging to engage with loved ones and connect with them emotionally. If you feel stressed or anxious about money, it's important to take steps to manage these feelings. This may involve seeking professional help, such as speaking with a therapist or financial advisor, or finding ways to reduce your financial stress, such as creating a budget, cutting back on expenses, or finding ways to increase your income. It's also important to practice self-care and find ways to manage your stress and anxiety. This may involve exercise, meditation, or engaging in hobbies and activities that bring you joy and help you relax. 5. You only buy on sale items. Another sign that money may be controlling you is if you only buy cheap or on sale items, even when you don't need them. While it's important to be mindful of your spending and look for deals, if you prioritize buying the cheapest items regardless of their quality or usefulness, it may be a sign that you're letting money control your purchasing decisions. This can lead to a number of issues, such as buying items that don't meet your needs or don't last long, which can end up costing you more money in the long run. Additionally, it can also impact your overall well-being, as you may miss out on opportunities to invest in higher quality items that bring you joy or improve your quality of life. Moreover, if you only buy cheap or on sale items, you may also struggle to prioritize your spending and invest in things that truly matter to you. For example, you may put off buying something you need, like a new mattress or a reliable car, in order to save a few dollars on other, less essential items. To overcome this, it's important to evaluate your spending habits and consider whether you're making purchasing decisions based on quality and value, or simply on price. It's also important to prioritize your spending and invest in items that truly matter to you, even if they cost more upfront. This doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money on everything you buy, but rather that you should consider the long-term value and quality of the items you're purchasing. By doing so, you can start to make purchasing decisions that align with your values and priorities, rather than being solely driven by money. 6. You base your self-worth on your financial status. When you tie your self-esteem to your bank account balance or the things you own, it can lead to a never-ending cycle of striving for more money and possessions to feel better about yourself. It's natural to want to feel successful and accomplished, but your self-worth should not be dependent on your financial status. Your value as a person is not determined by how much money you make or what kind of car you drive. In fact, research shows that people who base their self-worth on external factors like wealth or possessions are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. They may also struggle with feelings of inadequacy or worthlessness when faced with financial setbacks or difficulties. If you find yourself tying your self-worth to your financial status, it's important to take a step back and evaluate where those beliefs are coming from. Are they based on societal pressures or personal insecurities? It may be helpful to focus on cultivating your self-worth from within, through self-care, personal growth, and meaningful relationships. Remember that you are more than your bank account balance and that true fulfillment comes from living a meaningful and fulfilling life, not just accumulating wealth. 7. You prioritize work and career over personal life. It's not uncommon to want to succeed in your career and make more money, but if it's the only thing you focus on, it can take a toll on your personal life and relationships. For instance, if you're constantly working long hours and putting in extra effort to get ahead at work, you may find that you have less time and energy to spend with your loved ones or pursue your hobbies and interests. This can cause you to feel disconnected from the people and activities that bring you joy and fulfillment outside of work. Moreover, prioritizing work over your personal life can also have negative consequences for your health and well-being. Studies have shown that overworking can lead to stress, burnout, and even physical health problems like heart disease and diabetes. That's why it's essential to strike a balance between work and personal life. It's okay to have ambitious career goals and work hard to achieve them, but it's equally important to make time for your personal life and relationships. One way to do this is by setting boundaries around your work schedule and carving out time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. You can also consider seeking support from friends, family, or a therapist if you're feeling overwhelmed or struggling to balance work and personal life. 8. You judge others based on how much money they make. Another sign that money may be controlling you is if you judge others based on how much money they make. It's common for people to compare themselves to others and feel envious of those who have more wealth or status. But when you start judging people solely on their income, it can become problematic. For example, you may find yourself looking down on someone who has a lower paying job or feeling envious of someone who has a higher income than you do. This can lead to negative feelings like resentment, bitterness, and a sense of inferiority or superiority. Moreover, judging people based on their income can also harm your relationships and prevent you from forming meaningful connections with others. If you're constantly evaluating people based on how much money they make, it can be difficult to see them as individuals with their own unique qualities and experiences. Instead, try to focus on getting to know people for who they are beyond their financial status. It's important to recognize that everyone has their own struggles and successes, regardless of how much money they make. Additionally, it can be helpful to reflect on your own beliefs and attitudes towards money and wealth. Are you placing too much emphasis on material possessions and financial success? Are you assuming that people who make more money are automatically happier or more successful? By examining these beliefs, you can start to shift your perspective and form more positive and compassionate relationships with others. And that concludes our video on 8 signs that money controls you. We hope you found this information useful and thought-provoking. Remember, money is an important part of our lives, but it's crucial to maintain a healthy relationship with it. If you resonated with any of the signs we discussed, don't worry. You're not alone, and it's never too late to make positive changes in your life. Whether it's setting financial goals, practicing mindfulness, or seeking support from others, there are many ways to break free from the grip of money and cultivate a more fulfilling life. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and engaging content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.